Risk Assessment Template brought to you by TemplateShop.net. Risk assessment, as we all know, is understanding a business's risk, and that is significant as it helps identify the potential threats and vulnerabilities, allowing proactive measures to be taken. Now, it enables informed decision making, ensuring that resources are allocated effectively to mitigate the risks and maximize the opportunities. Furthermore, understanding risk assessment fosters transparency within various departments as well as accountability, enhancing stakeholder confidence in the organization's ability to navigate uncertainties. Now, how is this going to help you in your business? Let's try to understand. Here we have a high-level summary which gives information about what is this template all about, a few of the important aspects, the explanation of the sheet, which is the metrics options, and risk assessment. Last but not least, we can literally customize all the details. Let's move on and try to understand a few things related to the risk assessment metrics. First, we draw up a single metrics in terms of the severity. What could be the severity in terms of health hazard? It could be fatal, major or minor injuries, or negligible injuries. What's the likelihood? It could be very likely to highly unlikely. The impact to the business could be high, moderate, or low. Using this information, we draw up a chart, which is the metrics, the fatality, etc. comes here, the likelihood comes here, and the impact is the intersection of both of these. So say, for example, when we look at major major injuries which are likely major injuries, the likelihood, it's a high risk. On the other hand, if we consider negligible injuries, okay, which are highly unlikely, the risk to the business is low. How does this get translated into risk assessment? We see over here it's populated and it's providing a very interactive thing in terms of colorful charts and graphs in the metrics. Let's dissect each of these. What is the total number of risks? 8. Where does this come from? We have identified all these, which are 8 different risks. Of course, you can always add it, change this based on your business. Next, how many high impact risks coming up? So high impact risk comes up from the impact level. Medium impact and low impact all comes up from here. We also see there is a likelihood of it happening and the severity. Now let's see how can we change this to understand what really happens as far as the graphs are concerned. Now, assuming we talk about slippery slopes. Slippery slopes, who is at risk? Of course, all employees. The severity is minor injuries. It's a slippery slope. Somebody could just slip, so it could sustain minor injuries. What is the risk? Highly unlikely. This is not an individual decision, it's a group decision of defining whether it's going to be minor injuries, whether it's going to be likely or unlikely, etc. Bases the information here, it provides the impact level to us. Not just that, what we do is it has been assigned to a particular person who is responsible for addressing this, the necessary action, and the status, whether it's in progress or it is yet to start or it's completed. Let us see how this impacts the impact level, changing anything here. Now, assuming the group decides that instead of minor injuries, slippery slopes could lead to major injuries. The moment we do that, the risk from, say, minor injuries, which was low, moves on to moderate. So now it is major injuries, highly unlikely. Let's see over here. Major injuries, like highly likely or unlikely based on this. Major, highly unlikely. Major, highly unlikely. Moderate. So this also changes. Let us also look at the severity. The severity here is in orange color, which is the maximum. Let me change this back to minor injuries and let's see how it impacts the graphs. The graphs change. So this gives management and the overall organization an idea into the various risks an organization could face from the risk perspective. And this is the risk assessment template. We really appreciate you watching this demo. You can stay up to date on useful templates by subscribing to templateshop.net.